How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Glacier
Woo!
Veins with us tonight. You can say their names and what they do in the band.
I'm Malia. I sing and I play guitar.
I'm Kyle. I play bass and do some backing vocals.
There we go. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. Also, want to give a shout out to Equal Vision as a whole, and I know Jason
Yes.
also hooked me up here, so much love to Jason as well. But I've been following you guys for quite a bit. Want to give a shout out. I don't know if you can see my flag here, but the home team up
Oh,
here.
sick. Okay, cool.
Those are my boys.
Yes.
I love them. And I saw your
Nice.
name when you guys were touring out on the West Coast, and I was like, I should check this band out. And
Aw.
when you get into that mode where you're like, yeah, I'll check that band out, and then you like completely forget about it the moment after you speak it into existence. So then I was like, okay, just listening to some stuff at work, and your band came up on my Spotify recommended. I was like, I feel like this name sounds familiar, and I couldn't remember why. And then I went back and looked, and I was like, okay, now it's all coming together. So I was very stoked, and then so I messaged Jason and said, hey, can I get these guys on the show? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So that was my long-winded story on thanks for Glacier Veins for spending the time. If you have not checked them out, this is, I would argue, one of the best times to go check them out now. But I wanted to know, because I don't know too much about your band history, how did you guys start out? What is like the origin story of Glacier Veins? Spare no expense. You can take as much time as you want.
Word.
Every
Nice.
detail. I need to know every day up
Oh,
until the point you
details.
started till this very second. No, I'm kidding. Enough detail.
Well, it honestly is kind of an extensive history
I love
that
it.
has
Let's go.
points of when things started coming together. But yeah, basically I started this band in 2015.
Ooh.
And yeah, I wanted to turn it into a full band, but I also just wanted to start playing shows right
Mhm.
away with songs that I'd been writing. So it's kind of like my solo project at first, and brought in some friends from other bands
Nice. Okay.
at the beginning. And just over the first couple of years, we just went through many transitions as people come and go and play in different bands, do different things.
Of
But
course.
it was in 2017 where I met Kyle.
Hey.
And I feel we say this story all the time, but it's such a good story because it's so like synchronistic of how we met him. But Kyle, you should tell that about.
Yeah. So I do sound, like live sound. I
Oh,
work
very
at
sick.
venues and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was working at this venue in Portland called The Analog. It's no longer a thing.
Aw.
But anyway, yeah, one night I was mixing, and yeah, this band Glacier Veins was on the bill. And yeah, after sound check, I was like, sick, this is cool. And then yeah, after the show, I was like, yo, this band is really cool. Turned out we had a couple of mutual friends, and then also turned out their bass player was going to be going off to school and not really part of the band anymore. And so I was just like, yo, you want to jam? Like, what's
You're like, perfect
you know,
timing.
can
Yeah.
yeah, like I play bass, So yeah, and then I think we met up and like got pizza, and then a couple days later or that weekend or whatever, we like had the first band practice, and like, yo, it's been this ever since. It's been awesome.
And I was gonna say that pizza meetup too. I remember Kyle was wearing a Title Fight shirt, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Dude, I wanted to join the band so bad. I put on that Title Fight
Did you go
shirt.
through your closet and you were
Yeah,
like,
Kyle was like
Yeah.
scrummaging through. He's like,
Yeah.
which band shirt would be most convincing? And then it's
How
like,
do I
oh,
get
okay.
the gig, dude? Yeah.
But yeah, it's like there's been so many members that have come
Mhm.
in and out of the band, but Kyle has been the one who, once he joined, s- in it, and like that's kind of where we're at right now too. And so yeah, that was 2017,
Yeah.
and then man, we put out. I think we had an EP out. We put out another EP later
Wow,
that
okay.
year,
Mhm.
and then it wasn't until 2019 that we kind of got in contact with Equal Vision.
Ooh, okay.
And it was around the
Yeah.
same time that we were already going to record our first full-length album, The World You Want to See. And we met them and signed the deal with them while we were already like had plans to be in the studio
Oh, nice. Okay.
for that album. And then yeah, it worked out that they were able to help release that album, and then Lunar Reflection came out in 2022 last year. Woo,
I
all this
know.
time.
Crazy. Crazy.
But yeah, that's the story, I'd say.
There we go. And I
Wait,
wanted
Kyle,
to
do you have any more
know,
to add to it?
Kyle, yeah, do you have anything else?
Yeah, that was like the long, short, long of it.
Long
or
short of
whatever.
it.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Right before we recorded our first record, I feel like was kind of felt like a real, I don't know, next level of the band when
Sure,
we were
yeah.
like doing some
It's the
pretty serious
momentum.
touring. Yeah, doing some serious touring, getting real about writing, and then
Mhm.
like, you know, gearing up to record that first record was some pretty serious growth for the band. And then it was
Mhm.
sick that like Equal Vision was able to help us out, and we already had the recording books dated, or the
Oh,
recording dates booked and all that. Yeah, and then we were trying to tour as much as possible, and then ended up, you know, writing a record to put out in 2022, also with Equal Vision. So yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
that's it.
And then
Yeah.
I guess did you guys reach, because I always love hearing about how, like, I love Equal Vision, and when I started working with them, I was like as giddy as a schoolgirl. Like I was like, oh my
For
god, I
sure.
got an email from Equal Vision. That's so sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, how did they find about you, or did you go out and like you just sent like a demo tape out and you're like, hey, we're in a band, you know, we feel like we might fit your roster, something like that? Because I've heard stories on both ends, and I feel like I'm curious to know how Equal Vision either got in contact with you and were like, yeah, we like Glacier Veins. Let's hit them up. Let's do something. You know?
Yeah, I had done a podcast with this guy Dewey, who does the Peer Pleasure
Nice.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he is friends with Dan from Equal Vision. And so he's from Portland, Dewey is, and he'd seen us play, and we did that interview. And when we put out Circles, the single,
Mhm.
back in 2018, he was like, hit me up, and he's like, is it cool if I send it to like some people? And I'm like, yeah, please
You're
do.
like, yes.
Yeah,
Who would
right.
say no? Yeah.
So yeah, and from there, like, I got in contact with Dan through Dewey, and then we played a show in LA in early 2019, and Dan and Steph, who we work with most at Equal Vision, came out to LA. They were doing some stuff out there, but they came and saw us play.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
then we just kind of moved forward from there, and yeah, it was an exciting time because yeah, we already had an album written, and we had plans to record it, and we were gonna put out our first full length, and then to just at the not I guess it was kind of the last minute, not super last minute, get Equal Vision on board, which is like
Sure.
a
Yeah.
label that is really exciting for all of us to be working with, and then have that like support in putting out our first
Mhm.
album was incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would imagine like very similarly to me getting the like email from Equal Vision about working with their artists, and I've been working with them for a couple years now at the very least. And I always am shocked because I'm like, I don't know how they find about these bands. Like it's always such a cool process, and you know, I wish that, you know, inevitably maybe I'll get involved with looking out for bands and stuff like that. But it's always cool for me to see like how hands-on they are as a label, because I feel like, you know, you think about some of like the larger bands that they've had on the roster, you're like, they're like, how could they be so like in the weeds of it sometimes, and then at the same point have like, you know, like they have like the Sound of Animals Fighting doing their thing, and
Right.
like, and you're
Right.
like, man, they're such a massive label, but they're so like hands-on. So I always like giving him a shout because, you know, I've had the pleasure of working with them for as many years as I've have been, and it's always cool to find like the talent that they're looking at right now. And when you guys had originally signed with Equal Vision, I was like, I should check them out. And I just kept pushing it off. And this is for everyone. This is a PSA. Don't, if someone gets signed, you should just check out what they have to offer.
Just check them out.
Just check
Just
it out,
trust.
because just trust
Yeah.
that they know what they're talking about. Clearly, they're signing
Yeah.
like good bands, so I would highly recommend it. And to the like next point, I mean, I checked out The World You Want to See, just before we hopped on, I was kind of getting like a good mix of that, and then the newest
Cool.
album, Lunar Reflection, that came out last year. I'll leave links below to go grab it and please purchase it. Don't I mean, you can stream it too,
Yeah.
but I like purchasing music and also vinyls. As most people know here on the channel, I am a fiend for a good vinyl, so
Same
I
here,
will have
bro.
They do have
to.
there's some pretty ones.
I'm gonna have to.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to get on that. My bank
Yeah.
account is gonna be hurting, but it'll
Worth
be
it.
it'll be worth it. To be
Yeah.
in the collection. But how was it for you guys to? I'm sure for like family and friends, I'm sure it was hard to keep it a secret that you guys were like getting signed or in the works of that. So when it finally came to be, how did you guys feel to be like, guys, we're signed, we're here, the future's now.
I don't even know. I don't really feel like we told a bunch of people. I don't think it was like it needed to be a super secret from a bunch of
Sure.
people. But I feel like we also didn't. I don't know. I don't even remember, to be quite honest.
I think we're really good at keeping stuff on the DL for the most part, because that's also kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
I don't know. I remember when I told my family, like my brother and my parents and stuff, they were like, "Cool." And like my parents are like, "That's cool, that's great." And my brother's like, "Dude, Equal Vision, why does that sound so familiar? Like, what is that?" So
And
I
there's like
kind of
that
had to just
period
educate
of
them.
like, oh yeah, we're chatting with them. I feel like the most exciting
Yeah.
part was like that initial contact,
Sure,
like,
sure.
and then like them wanting to come out, because then it's like, okay, cool. This is kind of in the process, and now there's like looking over a contract or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of that. I don't know, that I guess that initial excitement does come from like, oh, sick, we're like in contact with them.
It's the take. I guess it's more so like the taking of interest. Like they're like, "Oh my god, like
Mhm.
this label noticed me. This is great." That's I feel.
Yeah.
I would probably feel the same way as well. But I also like get really hyped about like whenever I find like a great band. I'm like, "Oh, great, they're on Equal Vision." Chef's kiss. We love it. So
Totally.
that to
Yeah.
me is always the coolest thing. And obviously, from my perspective, I had gone through and listened to a couple different songs throughout, so I'll care to mention them here. I did listen to, I would say my favorite out of the ones I listened to was "Where Does It Go." That one was like chef's kiss.
Ooh, that's
That
my favorite.
what? Ah, yeah, totally
That's crazy.
unplanned, guys. This was not
Sick.
planned at all. But then I also listened to Flower Moon, Embers, Here and There, and Lunation. I'm pretty sure that's how I pronounce it.
Oh.
I don't know.
Cool.
Not very good at the spelling or
No, you're doing
pronunciating of
great.
words.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
cool.
Lunation is like a lunar month, the whole
Okay.
cycle of a moon. That, or like a full moon is a lunation, a new moon is a
Ah.
lunation.
I'm just gonna put the more you know like meme here.
Yeah.
Because I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I take a point in pride when I have people on to kind of go through and listen to some of the back catalog stuff, because very frequently people are like, that new stuff, give me that new shit. I want to hear like the new stuff, and that's great. I don't want to say Lunar Reflection is not bad by any stretch, but I also was like, let me check out The World You Want to See, just because it's been, there's a 2-year gap, and I'm like, how much does a band grow within that time period? And for me, as someone who listens to, God, so much music, that I'm always curious to see how much that you guys have changed over that time period. And I would have to say, delightfully surprised at how much you guys have grown in that amount of years. And I'm very curious what's 2 years from now is going to look like, or 3 years from now.
Ooh,
Not
yeah.
to put any pressure on the new out, because we're in 2023 now, so I don't want to rush anything. But I like the progression, and I felt like what you guys took from What You Want to See in the World to Lunar Reflections. I think there's such a like honesty and like a level of like growth that I'm very excited to see. How do you guys feel knowing that, when you originally started with Equal Vision, you had an album out, and that was like, people don't know you. It's like, I feel like it's a hard hill to climb sometimes. And then obviously with Lunar Reflection, that coming out, like, how have you guys kind of seen that response of, that growth from your perspective, at least?
I feel like when The World You Want to See came out, we were kind of just like riding a wave of stuff going on, and it was like exciting, like coming off of like the announcement of signing with Equal Vision, like putting out our first single with them the year before. And then like that, our first album came out, and we were on tour with like Have Mercy and Young Culture
Yeah.
at the time. And there was like so much energy and momentum going. And then of course like COVID happened right
Sure.
while we were
Yeah.
in the middle of that tour. And so I mean, like Lunar Reflection is a very reflective album, which I feel like is what a lot of us were doing during 2022 and
No doubt.
21, or sorry, 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
Close enough.
And so, yeah, like personally, it did kind of feel like, you know, like we were up here with energy and stuff going on, and we like came down in an energetic way, like
Sure. Yeah.
not like bad things, but just like, oh, we just kind of slow down, you know?
Yeah.
And then kind of like trying to like come back with that energy when the shows were slowly starting to come back, and um we had been pretty like quiet because we were working on an album and just
Mhm.
working, spending time with ourselves during that time, and yeah, trying to bring back the energy with Lunar Reflection, you know?
Absolutely. Kyle, your thoughts?
Yeah. Dang. I don't know. It's just like so much. Thank you for the compliments on the stuff too, man. I appreciate all that.
No
for
problem.
sure.
No problem.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, coming off of all the growth that I had mentioned earlier of like 2018 and then 2019, like that first record was definitely like, here it is, you know? And then, yeah, we were able to, it was so fun playing those songs live and doing that tour right up until COVID hit. And then um, definitely spent more time alone writing as opposed
Sure.
to like
Yeah.
in the same room together, you know?
Mhm.
So it was definitely I don't know, we all had to adapt, and it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I was like super bummed at first when we were writing the stuff because I was like, yo, like I want to
I need the
practice. Like,
interaction. You're
yeah, I
like,
like
oh.
to see all of you, you know? But it ended up working out really well because we all were sort of individually like hyper focused on our part.
Mhm.
Like the one bummer was it had slowed down our process, like things that we could have done in the practice room, like that, you know, change that, try this, try that, was kind of taken out of the equation. It was more like, yo, this is what I did today. Like, what do y'all think? And then
Mhm.
maybe change something, maybe don't. I don't know. It was a good exercise for us to do as a band, and like definitely going to be using a lot of what we learned moving forward with writing and stuff. So yeah, you're right about the growth, man. It's very real. It's weird when you're like in it, but
Sure. Yeah. And I
I'm
think it's
glad to hear it. That's awesome.
I think it's tough too. Like I am not in a band by any stretch, but like I always think to myself how difficult of a time that I had like interviewing bands. Like obviously I can do this. This is great, but sometimes I find that like I love having that interaction in person and doing the interviews in person. I didn't kind of realize that until like last year where I was able to do like a good bit of my interviews in person, and I was like, man, that interaction where like you can get it through the computer screen, but it might not mean the same thing as like literally being next to the same person and
Yeah.
like picking the mic up and like giving it to him. So I can only imagine as being like an artist. It is far difficult because you're like, okay, what are we gonna change with this part? And then it's like delayed, and you're like, that I don't think that was the right feeling or
Right,
like the right
right,
emotion. And you're like, let's try running them through again, or why don't you send
right.
me the files and like we'll kind of piecemeal it together.
Yeah.
And that I think that that's tough, but I also find that a lot of artists like last year and even the year prior to that, like put out some of the best work that they've ever put out. And so I feel like with Lunar Reflection and then, obviously listening to The World You Want to See, I was like, man, there's so much growth going on here and how much time that they spent. I imagine like being alone and having that time to,
Yeah.
no pun intended, reflect on like the things that they want to do and kind of evolve, with the music. Uh, it was cool to see that in that short amount of time where I feel like a lot of bands, like again, are hunkered down. They got to focus and like try to put out like the best material. And regretfully did not put it on my list of favorites from last year, but I kind of, if I could go back in time and put it as an honorable mention, I would, because I cycled through that album once I knew I had you guys locked in to do the interview. I was like, okay, now I got to like speed run the album and listen to
Yeah.
all of them. And I was like, God, this is so good. I'm like, why did I overlook it? You know, but again, hindsight's 2020. I feel like I could always say that
For
every
sure.
year for every album,
Yeah. Yeah.
but best know that the next time you guys release an album, I will make sure to make time for the next Glacier Veins album. So
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
but speaking of which, people who maybe aren't familiar with your band and they happen to stumble across this interview and they're like, these guys are cool, I like them. What song would you recommend to a new listener to check out to kind of give them an idea of your
Ooh.
sound?
Besides our newest song, Connect, that we dropped as a single, I don't know. I feel like Talk is like one that people are
Ooh.
always complimenting us on
Okay.
after they see us live.
Yeah, that was the first single we put out with Equal Vision too, and I
Oh.
feel like that was a song that we were really excited about when we wrote it.
I think we played it live for the first time at that show that Dewey was at too. Like I think that was a
wow.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Paris Theater.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's Talk is a good one. That's and like I want to say one of the songs from Lunar Reflection, which Connect, the single that we just put out.
Ooh, okay.
Just put out October of
Yeah.
2022.
Close
our
enough.
most recent song. That one, but I gotta say Autonomy.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
That's my favorite song, but I feel like the message and it's one of them. I don't know, one of the more like I think is one of the more catchy songs, maybe.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my picks. But no, Talk and Connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Does It Go is definitely my favorite from Lunar Reflection,
Ooh,
personally.
okay.
But I feel like Digging Myself Out is also a fair like representation of the band and the sound.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I feel like because we have some more of the like pop rocky vibe,
Yeah.
and then we have some more of like the drivey, darker songs.
Right.
It's like, which Glacier Veins do you want somebody to get
It's
into?
like, choose your
what kind
character
of person are
moment.
you trying to cater to right now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Just listen to both albums, front to back.
Yeah, just sit down a whole day. Just
come
listen
on.
to it all. Come on.
I could do it. You can do it. Come on. You know?
Yeah.
No, I always find it funny because like with bands, they're always like, yeah, our most recent song. Chef's kiss, you know, but also at the same point,
dude.
also which I respect 100% as someone who has no problem shilling. I respect that move. However, I also love hearing bands talk about kind of like the more deep cut songs that people are like, you know, if you're like, it's like the guy that like crosses his arms is like, yeah, if you're a fan, like, you know this song, right? So like, I always love asking that question because sometimes I'm like, what do they like? You know, I feel like every song, every album is like a baby. You know, you love it, but there's one that just like just a little bit better. Just you know.
Okay, well here's my deep cut. My Glacier Veins
okay,
let's go.
From the World You Want to See, It's Another Feeling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, well, Perception. That I don't know. We put out a video for Perception, but then from Lunar Reflection, potentially Nurture.
Ooh, all right, yeah, okay. Kyle.
Another Feeling is my mom's favorite Glacier Veins song, actually. So that's
Mom
kind of fun.
approved.
Yes, Mom approved. And I don't know. I'm gonna stand by my Where Does It Go? Probably being my favorite. But fun fact, Lenses, I think, is like a cool Glacier Veins song, and it's also one that I feel like I struggled with writing. I don't know. I feel like it took us the longest, or that's one that we focused on right before going into record. I remember like really dissecting that song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We called it the sandwich song for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some backstory there that I'm missing out on here. So you care to divulge why it's called the sandwich song?
I know. I think it's just because it was the way that this structure went.
Yeah.
I forget. And now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't really get how that was. No, because like, the beginning and the end are kind of similar, and then like the middle, you know.
Well, and at one point we had drawn a pair of glasses, and that was like sort of the guide too. Or like we drew something, and they're like, "Yo, it looks like glasses." Like, I don't know. I remember something like that too. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a stand picture.
I don't know. Could have been.
But yeah, I know. I would say too that one. But then you had mentioned Here and There too,
Yes,
and I
that
feel
was
like
great.
that's a song that I would like to do more with, like bring it into our like a set.
Yeah, we have yet to play that one, perform that one live. But well, for both records, I'm pretty sure we were able to play all the songs live. Like that was sort of the last practice before going into record. Was like, okay, play it front to back. You know, sort of like a set.
Yeah. That sounds
I
sick.
value that.
I listen, as someone who is going to be 30 in like 2 months, I am very much the like I listen to albums front to back type of person, and I am also an albums person, which I imagine most people that are much younger than me are like, I like a single. Singles are great. I could take singles all day, every day, and I'm like, give me an album. An album is like chef's kiss, you know. So I'm all about that. So I feel like, you know, right now I'm like, I gotta go back and listen to both albums front to back now, because I want to get the appreciation for it, as well as that. I just love that you guys kind of hit that sweet spot for me, like musically, where I feel like you have like a little bit of indie, you have a little bit of like, you know, pop rock kind of stuff. You have a little math rock, which, you know, your boy loves. And the other genre I feel like you guys kind of do a real good justice on is like a shoegazy kind of like vibe. You know, I feel like all of your stuff like mixes well. Like if we were to put that all in like a blender and just like make the Glacier Veins smoothie, like that's what it kind of feels like. And I absolutely love that, because that's like the type of stuff that I grew up listening to, and like you guys hit that like the peak for me on terms of like hitting math rock, hitting like a little bit indie, a little shoegaze, and it all works like harmoniously. So
thank you.
Not that, you know, not that I need the show for you guys at all, but you know, I feel like I have to put it out there.
Please.
Kyle's like, keep bringing it on. Like, I love it. I love it. But speaking on that, in terms of influences, who got you started out in your perspective instruments? Who got you like? Who was like the first person you were like, yeah, that's what I want to play bass, or I want to sing, or I want to do vocals? And then who influences your style more currently in terms of the artists you're listening to?
Word. For me on bass, might have been Mike Dirnt, honestly.
Oh,
yeah, Mike Dirnt from Green Day, and then like, oh shit, I can't remember his name right now. Newfound Glory's bass player.
I'll look it up. I got you, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you. might be Ian, might be Fred. I'm not sure, but
we'll find out.
Yeah, those two guys, at least in that genre. But the other main reason I picked up bass was like I wanted to be in jazz band. All my friends were in jazz band, and I wanted to play guitar, but it just didn't feel right. So I picked up a bass and was like, all right, I could do this. Like I'm down with this. Yeah.
It was Ian. You were correct.
Hey, all right, cool.
Ian the bass player.
The bass player.
For me, I feel like I always, like when I was really young, just really like singing, and I would write songs and stuff too. And so I kind of felt like for guitar, it was just, being able to like write songs and whatever, like I should play guitar, and I wanted to play guitar. But I also remember like a very specific memory watching Freaky Friday, and when Lindsay Lohan that band rocks out. I guess it's not. Yeah, it's. I was more inspired by Lindsay Lohan, not Jamie. Wait, Jamie Lee Curtis. But anyways, the energy of that performance, definitely. I remember that was like, I need to get an electric guitar.
Wow. All right.
Cool. That's probably like 9, I want to say.
Okay.
I think I got an electric guitar when I was 9 or 10. But I didn't really actually start playing guitar till I was like 12 or 13.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What an
Yeah.
interesting way to jump into music by watching Freaky Friday, and you're like,
That's
yeah,
sick.
guitar work from Jamie Lee Curtis is just what a shredding god.
And also, Kyle, you probably feel similarly because I feel like we've talked about this in the past about how both of our parents are like really big music fans.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
my
that's
parents
nice.
would always take like my sister and I to go see, even if it was just like concerts in a park or we would
Mhm.
go see live music like quite
Mhm.
often when I was growing up. And so this is just something that came to me now because I don't think it's like a very like conscious realization at that moment, but it was just
Sure.
like seeing live music all the time was like, oh, this is something that like I can do and that I like to do. And I feel like that probably influenced my wanting to play music.
For sure. Do either of your parents like play an instrument?
My parents don't play any music, but
Okay.
my grandpa played guitar and saxophone, and
Oh wow.
Word.
he
See,
owned a music store in Chicago in like the 50s.
What? That's
Yeah,
sick.
dang.
That's
yeah.
Wow,
awesome.
that's very cool. Yeah, my parents are not musicians, but they're music enthusiasts for sure.
Mhm.
And then it's weird, like, yeah, my on my dad's side, my grandpa was like a timpani player. He was like a full-on percussionist, and then his sister was like a drum major at one point. So I don't know. There's like a skip
Yeah,
generation
right.
gene or something, music gene. But yeah. My parents didn't take me to a whole lot of live shows when I was like a kid. When I was in middle school and high school, I was going to a lot of shows.
Oh yeah.
Dude, yeah, going to shows all the time. Some of them, like someone's parent would be there to like, just be there or
Just some
whatever.
guardian, yeah.
Yeah,
In
and
case
my
things
folks
got
were
out of hand,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, my folks were not volunteering all the time. We went to a couple of them. There was a New Year's show that my parents took us to that was sick. It was Real Big Fish headlining.
What?
Streetlight Manifesto
Oh,
was in there
man.
somewhere,
Woo.
and I think Less Than Jake. And
Turn
yeah,
up.
for
Yeah.
some reason, after Less Than Jake, my parents were like, "Yeah, we love this. Like, we fuck with this." And I'm like, "Wow, okay, cool." So
They're
yeah,
about the
That's
ska
awesome.
life. I respect
right?
that.
Yeah.
I remember my
Um,
mom would like drop my sister and I off at the Hawthorne Theater, and there was some shows that we would get there early and like wait in line. But I also remember my mom like saying, "Yeah, no concerts on a school night." And then every time that there was a concert on a school night, I'd be like, "But mom, it's blah blah blah," and then she'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
Just like, but it's this.
it's this
Yeah.
band. We can't miss out on them, even though they came around here like last year.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
can't miss out. I respect
But
that.
yeah, very supportive.
That's awesome because I feel like with my parents, like they're also not musicians as well. And when they were like, "Hey, so like you want to play guitar?" and I was like, "Okay, yeah." Like I'll like they got me like one of those like guitars with like the really like shitty like small amp and like the
Oh
one
hell
that
yeah,
you
the
like
starter.
the starter, yeah, the quintessential
Yeah.
starter guitar. And I just remember it sitting in the corner and like collecting dust, and I was just like, "Well, I don't know if I want to do that." And then one of my dad's workers was like the stereotypical like hair metal, like he had long blonde hair, he had like tattoos, and
Hell yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's go, Guns N' Roses, baby. And
Yeah.
and so he would show me a lot of like hard rock and that sort of stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm about this. I like can get into this. So then I picked up guitar, and then I similarly to Malia, I was like, I started playing guitar around like 12 or 13, and I was like, this is it. This is, and then I did nothing with it for like the longest time. Still haven't really done much with it, but then now I interview bands, so I feel like it was a
Sick, dude.
calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
just need
awesome.
the right inspiration to kind of get yourself in there and then like kind of find your place too
Oh
in
yeah.
the music scene. And because I know you're very obviously like connected to a lot of bands that we're all connected to, and so it's nice to figure out where you're like finding bands that you really like the most, and where you just like feel comfortable and like, yes, this is where I want to put a bunch of my time and energy into.
Yeah, I'd also feel like it's cool to like with musicians, I feel like you have that like bonding moment where you're like, like they're very much into it as much as you are into it, even maybe a little bit more so, which is great because then that just like fuels me to go find more bands to have
Mhm.
on. And, I also find that, and I saw this, and I always stress this a lot too. It's like, I love when bands are like just gassing up other bands. I think that's like one of the best things because I
Sure.
feel like in a scene where you could very easily just be like, yeah, I fucking hate these guys. They suck, like that's just not doing good for anyone, like I just sit back and I think to myself, I'm like, I mean, I would hope people don't like take a dog shit on my YouTube channel, but if they do, like that's fine, whatever. I'll live, I've heard worse things in my life, but I like also am at the point where I feel like with music and like bands, they already have a hard enough time as it is, like putting music out and being
Yeah.
like upfront. Last thing I need to be is like, yeah, I don't want to have this band on or I don't want to talk to this band because I feel like everybody has a unique
Mhm.
story to speak about. And obviously, like, if I enjoy the music, I feel like it put a little bit more effort or like more shilling into it. So for me, it's like that's one of the coolest things. And I obviously want bands to do well because that's like the coolest thing to be like, yeah, I knew that band back when they were small, and now they're just selling out Wembley Stadium. So
Yeah,
just saying, I don't have any control over this, but if I did though, boy,
for sure.
that'd be a
It's like
menace.
every band that sold out this. What is the common thread? Oh, they're on audio addiction.
Yeah.
I hope so. I want that to be
Hell
my claim
yeah.
to fame, honestly. But it's cool and obviously best of luck to you guys. Everybody, listen. I don't have to tell you, go check out Glacier Veins. They're fantastic, Great band. If you're into like that indie rock sort of genre of music, I have very much put a very broad brushstroke on that, but
Yeah.
um if you're into that sort of vibe, listen, just go check them both out. It's fantastic. But the next question I have for you guys is what are you currently listening to? What are you jamming? What do you listen to on a daily?
Shit, I had it. Now it's gone. You go. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I've been listening to kind of a lot of R&B
Ooh, all
um,
right, all right, all right,
lately. Some hip hop R&B with
all right.
these really cool artists. They have a lot of conscious lyrics and just you just sing along or listen along and you're just like, oh, I feel really good. I want to bring this energy
Sure.
into my life, and that's definitely been very inspiring too for me and um, my songwriting lately too. But then some newer stuff that came out recently. I love this artist Winter. She's
Oh, okay.
in LA. She's always my favorite. She put out a record last year that I love. Um, yeah, Kyle, do you think of yours?
Nice. Yeah, yeah. I've been listening to that Young Culture record a lot.
Oh, the
They put out.
boys.
It's so good.
I love those guys.
Yeah, and then I recently got something on vinyl that was sick.
I know the
Hesitation
feeling.
Wounds, 7-inch. Yeah, I've
Oh,
been listening to
nice.
that a lot.
All
They were
right.
the first one too.
Oh,
So yeah, and then that new Sound of Animals Fighting
yes.
EP. I've been listening Ape
Ape
Shit. I've
shit.
been
Yeah.
listening to that probably once a day. It's just the 4 songs, so like just throw it on. Yeah, and then I don't know. That's all that's coming to mind for me right now.
Malia,
Yeah.
who are some of the R&B artists R&B and like hip hop artists you're listening to?
Right now I have this guy Free Soul just
Hmm.
on repeat. He has Free Soul Fridays, where he's putting out a song every Friday.
Oh my God. Much
But
respect.
he put out this song I guess 2 weeks ago called Mirror of God, and I my drive to work is like 4 minutes, and that song is like 2.5 or 3 minutes, and I'll like listen to it and then listen to it again. And when I like drive home, I listen to it, and then all day I'm just like singing it in my head. Anyways, I've honestly I'm having a hard time thinking of what I've been listening to because I've just been listening to like these couple of his songs over and over again.
On
But
your
I've
drive.
also been listening to a bit of this artist called The Vault. It's more like
Hmm.
electronic music, fun to dance to. I'm in like my dancing phase
Nice.
now. But yeah.
Oh,
I
I
feel
was
that.
listening to LS Dunes a lot when that came out.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm sorry, I'm like
It's all
awful with
good.
this right now. But yeah, LS Dunes for sure. And there was something else that I was listening to a lot. I can't
It's gonna
remember.
come to you after this is
Oh
over.
yeah, the Wonder Years, that Wonder Years record.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Come Goes On
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah,
Salutes.
what an album.
Yeah. Shout outs to PA.
Yeah.
That's where I reside. So big salutes
cool.
to big
Okay,
salutes
I
to the
was
Wonder
gonna
Years.
ask. Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Cool.
Woo! The guys. Love them. The Wonder Years, come on the channel. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel Kyle on the buying vinyl because I was like, I get like albums every once in a while when you just get surprised and like your roommates are like, hey, so you got like a couple boxes here. You have a problem, but it's okay. You know, we respect you. But I came home a couple of days ago to a box and I had gotten the City and Color records sometimes
Ooh.
because I like
Nice.
I lucked up and bought the restock and I was like, I can't miss out. Like I'm trying to
Cool.
collect all the City and Color vinyl. So I feel like,
Wow.
I gotta keep it moving. So, but yeah, sometimes, oh man, puts you in the feels. I love City and Color.
Yeah, yeah. And well, and you
Yeah.
got to jump on it with the vinyl. Like you got to get it when you can get it. I've passed up some vinyl that
Oh.
I regret,
It hurts.
regret not buying or whatever. Yeah, it's hard.
I know, Kyle, you love like going to record stores,
do.
and I feel like right now I'm just like getting rid of all my stuff, and
Yeah.
I got rid of so many CDs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like one of those things too where I'm just like, oh, music is so easy to listen to and have access to now with Spotify or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
that
Mhm.
sometimes I feel bummed that I'm not inclined to go to a record store and find something random and put it on and listen to it, because one, I don't want to like get more stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah, totally. Totally.
But it's like, yeah, I feel like that's a music experience that I just don't really give to myself because
It's a personal
of,
hell, honestly.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, you're
for
like,
sure.
you're like,
sick,
yeah,
but now I've got all
I
this
love
shit.
collecting these things, and then I look over in my
Yeah.
corner, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's like 200 records here that I have to like comb through and be like, well, which one am I gonna listen to? And then I'm like sitting here at my computer like editing, and then the songs will stop, and I'm like, God, I gotta go up and flip it. So then I go
Yeah.
over and I flip it,
Yeah.
and then it's like another album, and then I gotta, listen,
Yeah.
that's a first world problem to have. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say it. I'm not happy about it. I do my best to pick up albums as much and as often as possible, but God, it's starting to become a problem, So
it is really, it's a special experience.
it
for
is,
sure.
yeah.
It is.
And yeah, being able to support bands that way. And then
Mhm.
now I feel too, just all the different variants
Oh,
and
Yes.
Yeah. They've been taking
It's a
our money
problem.
with that. Yeah.
I feel like the reason why I had originally got into vinyl was because I got tired of buying merch. Like I'm like, there's
Mhm.
only so many black and white shirts
Mm.
that I can wear in my wardrobe.
Mhm.
Like no one's out here doing like a hat. Like people do hats every once in a while, and I have like there's a bunch of hats here, like right where my hand is at. There's like so many hats. And I'm like, I couldn't exist on Earth long enough to wear all of the merch that I buy at shows and that I've given away over the years because I just can't. There's no way. There's no way I
Yeah.
can do it. So I don't know, bands, we got to think of the next thing to like divulge our money into because like I don't mind buying vinyls. I will still continue to buy vinyls. I will die on that hill, but there has to be something else that is not a t-shirt or hoodies because I am literally looking over at my hoodies. I have too many hoodies. So merch, I like buying unless like it's just like I can't get it anywhere else, and I just love the design. 9 times out of 10, I stray away from buying merch. Not that I don't want to support the homies, but I feel like you can only have so many shirts, so many hoodies,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
many shorts.
It's
Whatever.
hard.
It's hard. So
give me all the tote bags though.
oh, that's
Yeah.
a good
True.
one. I like that.
Yeah.
Bands up your tote game. That's what I need to see this year in 2023 is
Yeah.
that. So then I can put my vinyls in the tote bag. So listen.
That's what I was
Mhm.
thinking. People come over and they're
Mhm.
like, when people are asking, like, "Oh, do you have a bag?" And they're like, "No, but they're selling totes." Okay.
There you go.
You
I
will
just
never
needed a
be
bag.
out of clothes, but if you wanted a bag, you can't. There's no bags. Sorry, we don't have any bags. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're out of bags
We're
now.
out of bags. Shirts,
And
we have
use
plenty
it
of shirts.
for grocery
Yeah.
shopping and use a tote,
Yeah.
reusable bag.
Yeah.
You know, the people come up to you and be like, "Hey, I really like that tote bag. I like that band." And then you're like, "Man, that's great." You know, that I feel
Mhm.
like that, or you know, I might be in the minority, but I love the like fanny pack bags that people wear.
Word.
That's if Glacier Veins did one, buy that tomorrow.
Ooh, that'd be
Tomorrow.
I
cool.
Glacier Veins bag.
I listen. I feel like bands have to get creative for me. Like the people that have
Sure.
I've been in the scene since like 2011, maybe before that a little bit. But like, I always think, man, I can't. There's so many like shirts that I could bring home, but I choose not to because I can't wear another shirt. I can't do it. I just
Yeah.
can't do it. So, bags for 2023. That's all. That's all I'm expecting now. Is I just
Do
want to
it.
see. I don't want to see any shirts now. I just want to see bags. That's it. I want to say I want you to say you're out of shirts so that you can only exclusively print bags. That's it. So
Yes.
that's my that's my stance for 2023. But the next question I have for you guys, if you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Oh, I love talking about this. We
Oh.
like. I feel like we've been talking about trying to cover Red Balloons, 99 Red Balloons for like a long time, but just haven't done it.
Sick.
I think it'd be sick if we figured out a way to do it or like took a shot at it.
Okay. Is that
Yeah,
your
I don't even
choice, Kyle?
remember what like sparked that idea, but I remember that was like a long time ago that we talked about it.
Yeah, we had to play a cover for something and we were like 99 Red Balloons and like I don't know, I can't remember, but we played Skater Boy. That was probably the most recent cover that we did was Skater Boy.
Oh,
Yeah, it was cool.
all right. That
It
would
was
be an
at
interesting
it was
take.
at an emo night too.
Oh, so that
it's
was
like
popping
pretty
off.
lit.
Yeah.
And as soon as
Yeah.
they heard the doo
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought this was one of my old thoughts too. But Heart of Glass would be
Yeah, that'd be
pretty.
cool.
I think trying to go for one of like an older song is
Alright,
the vibe for
Glacier Veins it up, you know, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Also, shameless promotion. We do have a cover of a Jawbreaker song, Accident Prone, on Spotify.
Woo!
Yeah.
Check it out. I'll leave a link
Yeah.
below. Go give it a listen. Kyle, was that your choice? The 99 Red Balloons?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I remember being in practice and I don't know if it was me or Malia. Somebody mentioned it, and I was like, "Yo."
Kyle was just
99
in the
Red
room
Balloons
by
is sick.
himself. He was just like,
Yeah, like we should play this song.
and no one's in the room.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, wait, where'd you all go? He's just saying it out loud.
They're doing an older song, but then also doing like an R&B or some hip hop song would be kind of fun too.
I would be about
Malia
that.
can rap pretty good.
Oh, all right. I'm fully expecting Malia to come.
I got some bars. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not going to put you on the spot now, but next time you guys are in Philly, I'm fully expecting some like good, just like, you know, I want to be served up with some sick like rap lines, you know, by Malia. So
Yo.
guys, come hang out at a Philly show.
Yeah.
Deal. I want to go back to Philly.
We had
I'd
a
be
good
so
time in
about it.
Philly.
Me and Kyle will just go record store shopping, you know, be about
Dude,
it.
seriously, let me know. Like part of it for me is just the whole weird ritual of it, like finding the vinyl. Maybe you've got a vinyl in mind and you can't find it, but you find some other record that's
No,
like
I get
sick,
like I
and
have like my
dropping
arm
the
out and
needle
I
on
have
it.
like 7 in my arm and I'm like I could probably afford maybe 2 of them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then you have to like narrow it down and be like,
Yeah.
well, you know what? I could not eat for 1 week and that would maybe free up another space to like buy another one.
Yeah.
And
dude.
then if I really do get hungry, then I can just eat the vinyl, you know. It wouldn't be very nutritious, but you know, I'm not going to rule it out. But oh man, yeah, that would be sick. So we'll have to next time you guys
Oh,
are in
I would
Philly,
love that, bro.
let's do it up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But next thing, guys, also wanted to say if you guys have any suggestions for Glacier Veins in terms of covers, drop them in the comments. I'm sure they'll check them out. Who
Oh.
knows? You know, somebody might come up with a great idea. That's what I'm about. You know, so. But the next question I have for you guys, another fun one, of course. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, let's go.
Had to, you know, it's important.
Yeah.
I like a good burrito. Or actually, wait, no, sorry. I know what my answer to this is. It's ramen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
There's this place in Portland that had really good vegan ramen. Some like cashew.
Oh, all right.
So cashew.
I have not had vegan ramen before, but now it has intrigued me to try it out.
Yes.
It's good. They make it good. I like burritos too. I like pizza. But I think my favorite food is probably tacos. Like a good taco, you know?
From Jack in the Box, right?
Only after midnight. But yeah.
That sounds very controversial. I feel like all the people in the comments are like, that can't be true. You can't like Jack in the Box tacos that
dude,
much.
I love Jack in the Box tacos. It's not my favorite taco ever, but I love Jack in the Box tacos, dude.
You care to elaborate, Kyle? I feel like there's some hidden meaning behind this.
My long history with Jack in the Box tacos. No, they're just good. They're cheap. You know, when you're looking for like a cheap taco,
fair enough.
It's, you know, and you can get 4 of them. You can get 6 of them, whatever.
Wow.
You know.
How much are they paying you to say that? I just need to know. Just, you know,
not enough.
Just in case I need to get the bag too, you know.
Not enough for sure. But no, there was a time in high school where I was eating a lot of Jack in the Box tacos. All my friends were eating them too. We would bring them to parties and stuff, and they end up like on the ceiling and stuff. Like just too many Jack in the Box tacos. Yeah.
I will say though, jokes aside about Jack in the Box, I feel like Kyle does have his spots that he knows for really good tacos.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like it's a quest, right? You got to find the best taco. So
I feel, yeah.
I'm always on that quest. I've got a couple in Portland, got a couple in San Diego.
Oh.
Maybe have a couple in Texas. I fuck with fuzzies, basically, is what it comes down to.
That's the whole experience.
Yeah.
A chalice of margarita or PBR.
Yes.
Sounds like a good time, you know. It only makes the food a little bit more delicious. But yeah, I'll have to see if there's any good like vegan like ramen places around me now. I had ramen. Shouts to my roommate Alex. We went out to some ramen near us, and it was pretty fire. So, you know, big salutes. But yeah, I'm a big ramen aficionado. You know, so I'll have to try to find a good vegan one, and just now I'm gonna tag Glacier Veins and be like, so this is past the test. This is past the marks. You know, so but yeah, I love that, and I found out that there was a vegan cheesesteak spot in Philly, and unfortunately they closed, and I did not know about it, and I was like, God. So shout out to Blackbird. Love them.
I feel like wasn't there one of like the main pop-in spots also had vegan? It was near that. I think you went there, Kyle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got my first ever like legit Philly cheesesteak in Philly. Woo! On the last tour that we were on.
Respect.
I think it went to Joe's, if that sounds familiar.
Oh, anyway. Joe's Steaks. Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh yeah.
And I think they had like one vegan option and one like one vegan sandwich or whatever. Yeah.
They don't believe in that shit here.
Yeah. Right.
They're just like, you get a Philly cheesesteak and that's it. There's no we give you the meat and that's it. But I don't know. Maybe we'll change next time. I'll have to go. I have had Joe's like cheesesteak, but I haven't had the vegan one, so I'll have to go out and try that and let you guys know. But yeah, I like Joe's. That's a fantastic spot. So shout out. It's close to, I think you guys, if I had to guess, you guys played like the Foundry or the Fillmore, maybe the last.
It got moved to what, like Kung Fu Necktie or
Oh, okay. So
Karate
that's
Necktie?
right there. Yeah, they're all like
Yeah.
there's like 5 different venues in like that block, pretty much.
Okay. Word.
So shout out to Kung Fu. They're great too.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, that was a really good show, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. Equal Vision. When are they coming back out east? Just DM me. Just DM me later. Okay.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. The next question I have for you guys, if you guys could pick a dream collaboration on an up and coming Glacier Veins song, who would you love to work with? This is the time to just manifest that shit. You know, tell me / tell the internet who you'd love to have on as a guest feature.
Ooh, guest feature. I don't know. It's someone to work with in general for me. It's like Will Yip. Like it'd be sick to work with Will Yip.
Well,
in
he's out
any
here
capacity.
in PA, so
Yeah, that'd be sick.
shit, you know.
I don't know, guest feature though. Malia, what do you got?
Well, gosh, I'm just thinking about some of those artists that I've been listening to a lot that I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do a song with them. But Umi or Riz Lavi too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It would be an interesting collaboration for Glacier Veins music that I feel like it would be something cool.
Okay.
Something that I just really like these artists, and so it would be cool to write with them.
I feel that. Kyle, we've cycled the question back to you again.
Yeah. Pat from Movements would be really sick. Like get him on a track. That'd be cool.
Pat.
Or I saw right next to the home team. Or I don't know, Donovan Malero from Hail the Sun would be interesting. But yeah.
Oh,
anyone really.
Yeah, those are
Anyone
one of
wants
those
to.
questions where like throughout life people will come into my head, and then like when the question gets asked, suddenly I don't
You forget all of
know.
them.
That's been happening to me since we started talking today. So.
I feel like I'm gonna get frantic DMs after this, and you're like, "These were my answers. I swear to God, I thought about these. I thought long and hard about them, and these are my answers now."
Oh, the post-interview regret of
yeah.
the
Oh my
things that I
God.
didn't say.
Don't worry. Well, the DMs are open, of course, and then if you do have something that you like, just gotta manifest. Let me know, and then I will
Word.
flash them on the screen to let people know that you thought about it after the fact, but I didn't forget. So I got you guys. But yeah, that'd be really cool. I would love to hear. I feel like Pat would work really well. I feel like if I had to like
cool.
put my metaphorical token in the metaphorical machine, I feel like
you're
Pat,
in, dude.
Pat would be on point. Either that or
Word.
I'm not gonna lie, not shilling for my boys, but like Brian.
Oh yeah, that would be sick. That would be
Brian,
sick.
come on. I know you love me,
Yeah,
so
Brian.
do it. Yeah, Brian, come on.
Yeah, come on, Brian.
You don't want to let me down. You guys stayed at my house, so I feel like you owe me.
Oh, I think it'd be fun to have Marcos from Standards like rip a solo on a song. I think that would be cool.
Shout out to Marcos.
all of our friends.
All of our friends. Yeah.
He's my boy. Shout out to Marcos.
Yeah.
Also
the
alumni.
homie.
So many alumni talked about tonight.
Yeah.
Donovan too. I've had Hail the Sun on a couple times, so
Cool.
guys,
Sick.
come on.
They just
let's
put out
go.
a new song. Yeah.
I have yet to check it out, just for the sheer fact of doing a reaction. So that will be
cool.
out by the
Okay.
time this comes out. So
Cool.
check it out. And they're also on tour, so go out and see the boys.
Yes. Yes.
But I would like guys, listen. This is the time of the interview where I post about Twitter and tell people that you should tag Glacier Veins and then tag Movements and tag the home team and tag Hail the Sun and anyone else we mentioned in this segment. Tag them and then type in collaboration. Again, I didn't go to law school, but I believe that there is a legal process by if there's a tweet that's out there, then it's got to be true. It's on the internet, So, if you want to make, the track's already in the works, they're just gonna be recording their parts, So, if you want to hear the exclusive, the new shit, make sure to retweet it. Make sure to, I'm just telling you, you can hear it first if you retweet it. So be on the
There you
lookout. You know, I didn't have anything to do with this, so just do it. Don't tell I didn't tell you to do it, but if you want to do it, you could do it. So, the next question I have for you guys is, if there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
Drums.
Sick.
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Sick. I would go trombone for sure.
Oh,
Just 'cause.
just cause.
It's so silly, but like so cool. Yeah.
We need a trombone solo from Kyle on the next
Oh
Glacier
my
Veins
god,
song.
that'd be crazy,
You
dude.
You should just record it. It'll be like the last song. You know how like bands
Yeah.
do that like special like ending,
Hidden track.
like hidden
Yeah.
track, yeah. And just have like a
Well, we're
little,
actually
like,
gonna do a Glacier Veins song where it's me on sax and Kyle on clarinet, right?
Yeah.
Those
Wow,
were
that'd be
our
sick.
elementary school.
Mhm.
oh, that'd be kind of
instruments?
sick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd
Oh,
be
wow,
about
a woodwind interlude.
that. And then the trombone comes in. Yeah, that's it. That'd be great. I'd be about it.
Yeah.
I feel like with saxophone, I feel like that's made its way into like the
Mhm.
post-hardcore and like into this genre, even though like that would probably be the last thing I would think about fitting in, but like I feel like a ton of bands over the past like 4 to 5 years have just been like, yeah, saxophone, okay, great, let's throw it in there, you know.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm all
It's
about
nice. It's pretty nice.
yeah, I'm all about the sax in this type of music. I feel like it really works well, you know. So
Mhm.
if guys, you know, if you're a sax player and you know, you should hit up Glacier Veins because that'd be kind
Yes.
of wild. I'd love to hear a 6 sax solo. I don't know how I said that without messing up my words, so I'm quite impressed with myself.
Good job.
I'm Krista.
The next question I have for you guys is my personal favorite. I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking it, as you can clearly tell by my, you know, pantheon of things over here. But if there was a video game character you guys wish you could be, who would you?
Oh, that we could be? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Wow, my nerd is showing. Commander Shepard, Mass Effect, dude, all day.
Woo! Yeah,
Yep,
let's go.
definitely.
I feel like Malia's just like, man, what did I walk into?
I don't know. Shy guy.
Shy guy.
All right, respect.
I don't know. That's the only. That was my recent Mario Kart guy. Yeah, Kyle, do you have one for me? What would I be?
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh. This might be because I just watched The Last of Us pilot last night, but I feel like you could be like not like a weird side character, but like a character that appears and doesn't die in The Last of Us.
Kyle
Wow.
calls me a weird side character.
I can't.
Well, no, because most
Kyle
of the side
needs to exit
characters
the chat
die,
now.
but like you're a survivor. You won't die.
I love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate Kyle backpedaling the first initial statement. He was just like, "You're just gonna be a weird." I mean, totally normal character that doesn't die.
That
You know,
survives. Yeah, that
survived.
doesn't die.
Well, you were playing that one. I don't really know what all of the characters are, but I did like the mythology of it.
Oh, God of War.
Yeah.
We were like
Oh.
nerding out on God of War for a little bit. Yeah, Freya from the most recent God of War. There you go. That's
There
a
you
very
go.
strong
That
character.
was you really followed that up well, Kyle.
That
you know.
should have been my first answer.
Not weird
Thank you
side
so much.
character. Oh my god. I feel like somebody's gonna be in the comments and be like, Kyle really just, you know, he
Yep.
came out guns a-blazing. He chose to fight
me too.
today.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna see Malia after this, and she's gonna like send a text to Kyle and be like, "I can't believe you said that shit to me
Can't believe
on
you
this
said that
interview."
shit, dude.
That
Just a
was
side character.
Am I just a
It was
side
really-
character to you?
I'm just kidding. Honestly, weird side character. I feel like that's a good like thing to strive.
You don't have to
be.
back it up, Malia. I was trying to
It's
back
fine.
you up. You know, I was trying
It's
to.
better than NPC, right?
That's Well, I don't know. I feel like you just
I don't know.
I feel like you just threw adjectives on NPC
Right.
characters. So, so
Cool
that's
NPC.
cool NPC
Yeah.
character. Oh man. Well, love the answer despite the rift that I've created in Glacier Veins
Yeah,
now.
sorry.
But the next question I have for you guys, I don't typically like to ask this question. However, I always find when band names are interesting, I always like asking this question. Was Glacier Veins the first band name you guys came up with? Like, was that one of the, I imagine it was one of the choices that you guys were originally coming up with, and what ultimately made you land on Glacier Veins as a band name?
Yeah, it was, I feel like it was that mostly. And then at one point I was also trying to think of like a line from a song that meant a lot to me.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there was a lot of bands at that time. And I was like, yeah. But Glacier Veins is because I have really bad circulation, so my hands are always really cold. Like you can see that, I don't know, they're kind of purple right now.
I feel that. I get
Anyway, so
poor
it's just
circulation in my
a play on
legs.
cold hands.
I
But it
feel that.
sounds cooler.
I feel that as someone who my leg circulation is very poor, so like I always have cold feet, so I feel like my band name now should be Cold Feet, so just to combat
feet.
combat
Yeah,
Glacier Veins.
that's Glacier Veins for you.
That's what we're guys, we're gonna go on tour. I'm gonna be Cold Feet and I'm just gonna interview people, so that's my
Sick.
jig.
Okay.
But that's awesome. Was there any other like notable band names that you almost went with that?
I think the lyrics that I had like, or the bands that I pulled a lyric from, one of
Mhm.
them was Now Now.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. And then one of them I think was Emperor X.
Ooh, that would have been sick.
Yeah.
Is Emperor X from Philly? I could be really wrong. Okay.
I don't know. We'll find
Yeah.
out. We'll figure it out.
Anyways, yeah. What I think one of oh no, and there was a line from an Into It Over It song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From Where Your Nights Often End.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. But Glacier Veins is, just it rolls off the tongue.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
There's-
sick.
There's something spicy about it, So
Yeah.
when I tell people, I'm like, check out Glacier Veins, and they're like, ooh, okay. I like that.
Exactly.
So there you go, guys. That should be, if you want to use that for your like shirt, you can be like, ooh, that's spicy or something on the back of your shirt, and then put Glacier Veins on front. Feel free to take that. That's, I have no patents to any of that sort of stuff, so it's fair game.
I'm just visualizing like a show flyer with, this band, whatever band, Glacier Veins, this fucking band,
This fucking
whatever.
band.
Yeah.
I feel like I unironically I would love to name my band like This Fucking Band, just so like it shows up on like the thing, and they're like this fucking band, and you're like, and then we're like, hey, what's going on? We're this fucking band.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
I'd be about
Pretty
it.
good.
Don't steal my idea. This
Okay,
one you
I'll
can't
try.
steal. This one is copyrighted.
All right,
I'm
I'll
still-
use it.
I'm keeping this one. That one's for the archives, But and I always try to come up with like the arguably worst band names possible. The one I came up with more recently was Meryl Streak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
that's
Good
awesome.
pun. Yeah.
yeah. It's a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like
Kinda,
all of
yeah.
my band names should be just puns. I feel like I'm a very punny guy, so that would very much line
Yeah.
up with my humor.
We did come up with like a little Glacier Vein side project that was
Nice.
actually gonna be
Oh, yeah.
some hip hop. Kyle was vibing on the auto tune.
Yeah.
But
The trap
was that
hi-hats
music called?
going.
Hotter,
Hot-
no,
Hot water or hotter water.
yeah,
Something. Yeah.
hot water.
Hotter water.
It's bad.
That was me tracking vocals, and I'm like, yeah, I think I might need to get some hotter water.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's it.
That's it. That's a great bit. Oh my god. And they're
Because it's like
followed
the
up
opposite
by
of Glacier Veins too,
hotter water.
Oh yeah, but then Equal Vision signed Hot Water Music. And
Right.
we're like,
Yes.
okay,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would have been very
Water
confusing.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we have to go. We only exclusively go out with hot water music now. Oh my God. That would be very confusing. And be like, hey, which band are we having on tonight? Hot water music or hotter water? God, I can't
Yeah. Or
say it.
hotter water music. Yeah.
Are they also hot water
Yeah.
music or?
And the
So-
opener is this fucking band.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We came full circle. Thank you, Kyle. Oh,
Got you.
kudos. Love it. The next question I have for you guys, speaking about touring, if you guys were to compile a dream tour lineup, including Glacier Veins, who would be on it? And I want to let you know this is going to be a stacked lineup, so I'm expecting 4 bands, including yours.
Okay.
True. Man, I'm just like kind of just want to say all of our friends that we've like already
know.
toured with.
Respect.
Just get back. Like we always so fun to be out with Young Culture.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my guys. I love them. Big salutes.
Love the home team too. Standards.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
sounds kind of hot.
see that, and that's just me from like the fact that I just want to play shows and hang out with my friends every night. But you know what? We can make new friends too.
True.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I'm gonna say
Okay.
Glacier Veins opens.
All right.
I don't know who would be in the second spot, but you got Tiger's Jaw, and then like Manchester Orchestra,
Mm.
and then I don't know. Maybe there's like another one that goes here. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. Do you go like Jimmy Eat World or something? Like, where do you even go with that? Or do we just
That's
go?
yours. That's
I don't
all you,
know.
Kyle. I don't make those choices. This is all yours.
All right, yeah,
I'm gonna
you
go
got
with
me.
that. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go
Okay.
with Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy
Sure.
World. I love it.
All right.
You got me
Yeah.
thinking. I don't know if I have like the ability to build a whole tour right now. That's gonna be, if I do that, I'm gonna have regrets later about what I say.
I'm gonna get again more
I'm
frantic
saving
DMs
myself.
later.
Yeah.
But I think touring with Basement would be really
Oh yeah. All right.
and okay, on like Modern Color too
Ooh, yes.
Mhm.
Salutes. They're great.
Mhm.
would be sick. I could like on a 3-band bill I could see
Mm.
being sick.
Ah.
That's Modern Color,
Mm.
Basement.
Yeah. Holy
And
shit.
what's the one bigger right above?
Yeah. Ooh. There's got to be one that would be sick. Can't think of one right now. Ooh.
He's thinking.
Yeah, I am thinking. Band called. What is that fucking band called?
That fucking band.
Yeah, that fucking band.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Can you give me a
Tip of my
hint?
tongue. It's on the tip of my tongue. Gouge away. Fucking gouge away. I don't know if that would be like way too out of left field, but like,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
about
Anyways,
that.
I don't know. Or like if Boy Genius does another run, get us in there. That would be crazy.
Yes. Shouts. I love that.
Yes.
Boy Genius is
Yes.
fantastic. You know, I'm a huge like folk indie fan, so I'm like all about Julian Baker, like Phoebe Bridgers, all that sort of stuff. So that would be Boy Genius would be a great fit. I'd like that.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Guys, again, just like the Twitter thing I said earlier, you know, if you want to just like pitch these to the bands, you know, just saying, like, you know, I'm not forcing you, but you know, if it did happen, you know, I feel like I'd be pretty stoked about it, and I feel like, you know, like in turn, Glacier Veins would also be kind of stoked about it. So, I mean, like, you know, I don't want to tell you to do anything, but
Hey, we'll take it.
it's there. So, Equal Vision. You got my, I don't know, you probably have my phone number or something, but let's do it. The next question I have for you guys is, in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the artists you've seen? Because I imagine you've seen a lot.
Wow. Huh. You know, honestly, I just saw The Sound of Animals Fighting live for the first time a couple nights ago. Blew my fucking mind, dude. I'm gonna just say The Sound of Animals Fighting. Oh, it
Respect.
was incredible. It was
All right.
incredible. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna circle back to, I mentioned Umi earlier. Umi put on it was just, she brought in so much good energy and good feeling, and there was a whole little like story that wove through the songs, and some like moments of breathing and meditation too, that just in the moment you feel so good, and then you leave feeling so good. Yeah, so that's what I'll say.
Hell yeah.
That would be interesting. I feel like any
Mhm.
show I go to, it's just like, let's crowd kill the first person we see.
Yeah.
So that would be quite the opposite. It'd be like
Yeah.
everybody brings their yoga mats and are like ready to like feel the zen, do sun salutation, I'd be about it.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, she actually did do like another
okay.
yoga meditation tour. The one that I was thinking of was actually her just doing her songs and stuff, but she did a whole nother like meditation tour where people did bring their yoga mats and do it.
That was like part bit, but also I didn't know that was real, so that's actually kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'd feel so great driving home and be like, yeah, I'm feeling great, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too that, speaking of Modern Color, they put on a really good show. I feel like I remember every time that I've seen them, I just get so present into what's happening. And I always feel like, oh, it's good. They just have so much energy.
Yeah, alumni of the channel as well. Shout out to Modern Color.
Oh,
that was
sick.
hella long time ago. So come back on Modern Color. Where I've been around. You've been around for a while, so like we need to reconnect. That'd be kind of sick. But next question for you guys, another fun one. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Oh wow. My favorite TV show right now is probably going to be The Last of Us.
It was that good.
Pilot.
Oh, all right.
Dude, it rocked me. Yeah, in a good way. I played the game a bunch, and like, I don't want to spoil anything, but I enjoyed the living shit out of it.
Well, it would
and
be
then
dead. No, sorry, that was a terrible. Sorry.
Nice.
I'm gonna see myself out.
Yeah, let's see. My like long time favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh.
Just cause, dude, it just hits. It's R-rated.
I like how that. Girls just like, yeah, gore and violence, my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite. I don't really know if I have a favorite TV show. I feel like my go-to answer that I've had for the longest time has been Kyle XY.
Wow, deep cut.
Wow.
I did really like that show.
Oh my god.
And then
all right.
The way that it unfolds, wild, and they end the whole show on a cliffhanger. Wild. Shoot, my favorite movie for the longest time it was Big. Tom Hanks.
Nice, yeah,
nice,
classic.
Yeah. But I really do. Give me any good rom-dram, and I love it.
I feel like this might surprise a lot of people. I'm a nice I love a good like romantic comedy. That is chef's kiss. Watch those all day, every day. So good, big salutes. Big salutes to rom-coms.
Just make you feel good.
Yeah, you get a little joke. Yeah, fall in
Funny.
love, and then you get depressed. It's great. Love it.
They're usually PG-13 though. I need an R-rated rom-com or
what is wrong with you, Kyle?
I just don't know.
Somebody's got to create a rom-com where it's just rated R and it's just them like mowing through zombies or something. But they're like, something's gonna happen. There's got to be something out there. Guys, recommend like a R-rated rom-com for Kyle to indulge himself in. So down below. The next question I have for you guys: if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be? I feel like it's a month though. It's a little, a little less abrasive.
Yeah, it's not forever.
It's not forever, exactly. I'm not that mean. I'm only like a little mean.
Hmm.
Mine would probably be Winter's Endless Space. That
Wow.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out now after this.
It's very magical.
Oh, all right, all right.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna message
Uh,
Malia after and be like, "This was like a little bit less than magical. What's underneath that?" Or it might be above. So then I just call it Disney or something.
Oh, it's
nice.
good. I hope you like it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a jazz record. Freddie
Mm.
Hubbard's
What?
Skydive. Yeah,
Wow.
that would be it.
It's really out
Yeah.
of left field. Wow.
I know, but it's got to be what it is. It's one of those vinyls that I was looking for a long time, and then finally
Oh,
got it like a year and a half ago, and I spin it at least once a month, and every time I'm just like, oh, it's so good, it's so pretty, it looks so good, it sounds so good. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
great.
that. That was me with Transit, Listen and Forgive. I had
Cool.
been
Ah,
looking for that album for forever, and somebody was selling it, and it was like a minute after they posted it. I was like, "What's your PayPal? I need to send it to you right now." Like, I'm
Let
buying
me
it
know.
now. Just yeah.
Yeah.
No one else is
this
going
one,
to have the opportunity to buy it because I'm going to buy it.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would pick this, but I could listen to Transit's Joyride, like
Mhm.
Yes.
that one front to back, a lot of times.
I went back and listened to that one recently and I was like, "Why did I hate this album so much? It's so
Right?
good." Like I was like cuz I'm a listen and forgive stan, like I will die on that hill, but I went back and listened to Joyride and I was just like, this is a very very close second like for favorite
Mhm.
Transit album. So, and that's saying a lot as me listening to Transit for a very long time. Um I love their stuff. So I feel like I've changed my tune on that one. So um I really do love that album as much well too. But the second to last question, guys, that I like asking and been asking more currently just after COVID and stuff like this. But first of all, before we get into that question, guys, check out Glacier Veins. Links below.
Yeah.
They're gonna have their moment to spiel and talk about their band after this. Like, this is arguably the hardest question I ask here in this interview, but um, you know, I love interviewing bands. I've been doing this for roughly 7 years now. And I always love finding out about different artists and getting really stoked on what they're able to do and what they come up with. Um, what drives you guys to create music? Like, why is it important in your life? Because I find that a lot of times with artists, I can resonate a lot with what you guys do because I would die on this hill of doing YouTube and interviewing bands. And I imagine very similarly to, Glacier Veins and what you guys do. So, why is creating music, why is connecting with people such an important aspect to you guys? And why do you continue doing it?
You literally said one of the main things, which is about connecting with people. Um, that and like it's an energy expression. It's like writing music is like my time to get into myself and just like let out what I'm feeling, like what I'm
Sure.
thinking, what I believe in, and then getting to perform it and meet people through. And like I kind of said it when we were talking about touring. It's like, oh, I just want to like go on tour with bands that we're friends with because like half of that is getting to spend time with other people who are passionate about the same things that
Hmm.
we're passionate about, and then meeting people at shows who are passionate about the same music and the same things as well. And that is really special to get to connect with people in that way through music. And yeah, and more for me too now, bringing together that expression and connection too. More so, I've been very conscious about wanting to write songs that can help people grow and like
Hmm.
heal within
Yeah.
themselves and just get into that a good space for just being able to connect with themselves too. And I
Hmm.
want to share some joy and um, thinking with people through that.
Great.
Nice.
Kyle,
Hell yeah.
what you got?
Yeah, well, to tag on what Malia is talking about, like music is the universal language, right? Everyone
Oh, yeah.
regardless of dialect, can like understand what the fuck is going on when you go to a show or whatever, you know. Um, but yeah, so there's that, and then for me personally, like I don't know, when I'm playing bass, it's almost like you're looking into a mirror that's not there, right? You're like hearing yourself and like sort of it's sort of like you can reflect with yourself while you're practicing or playing
Sure.
or jamming, whatever. Um, and then I've got a lot of friends that like were musicians, but they're not anymore or whatever for whatever reason.
Hmm.
But I can't help but feel like I owe it to myself and to the homies to just like keep fucking going, you know, keep doing it. So yeah,
That's great.
that is for sure what drives me for this for playing bass and playing with Glacier Veins. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times too, like you can tell the passion and the work that goes into writing music. Like I feel like I
Hmm.
put a lot of effort into having bands on, and that like I'm trying to send that energy to other people, through the computer or actually being at a show and like really kind of like getting to know a band, because I feel like, we go to shows and we're like, man, I don't know if I want to go and talk to Kyle. He's like so cool.
Oh
And
my
then
god.
or like I go to Malia. I'm like, she's great. I love her. She's awesome. Like, but in your head, you guys are like, man, people like our music. That's wild. Like
Right.
it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
So like it's
Totally.
that like interaction where you're like, you don't want to say something because you don't want to seem like you're overstepping, and the other person's just like, I don't know if I want to go up to them and like introduce themselves. So then there's just like this impasse where you're like looking at each other and you're like, well, they're looking at me, so like I guess I
Yeah.
gotta go say something now. And
Yeah.
I used to be like that, very much not now anymore. I feel like people are surprised at how approachable I am, I guess. um but I also find that like there's so much connection involved with like music, and I do like what Malia said. Obviously, I like what Kyle said as well too. But there is this level of connection and like that universal language. There are people like, regardless of wherever you live, I feel like you can enjoy this band and have meaning and take different things out of it. And I think listening to both albums kind of in full somewhat, I was able to get really this cool idea of what you guys are going for and trying to like bring that sort of like positivity and obviously very excited to see what you guys have coming up, and we'll be delighted to see the next album and the next stuff to be coming about. So guys, this is the perfect opportunity to segue into the last piece, the most important piece. Tell people where they can find Glacier Veins at, what you guys have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you guys would like to plug or talk about.
Cool. Yeah. Well, you can follow us everywhere at Glacier Veins PDX. Um, and yeah, I mean, right now we're just in a bit of a transition, but we're writing
Woo.
and hopefully going to get out and be playing some shows. Hopefully, be playing some shows in LA. And yeah, Kyle, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, we're writing, demoing, doing
Woo.
our thing, you know, cooking it up, as the kids might say. I don't know. Um, but yeah, let's see. Connect is the single that just came out. It's sort of a B-side for Lunar Reflection. It was one of
Mm.
those, hey, maybe we save this for later after after we recorded it, you know. So yeah, check that one out.
There we go. Well, guys, listen, you heard it here first. Go check out Glacier Veins. I'm very excited to pick up the vinyl on both vinyls. I don't know if I think both of them are still up there. If not, I will fight all of you to get the last copies of those. So don't be
Yeah.
afraid. These fingers have caught many a vinyl. So don't get caught slipping. I'm gonna grab it from no, I'm kidding. If you do go pick it up. Seriously, if you go pick up physical media, I'm sure they have them on CDs. If you like vinyl, much like myself, go pick them up as well. They are awesome. Absolutely loved the world you want to see, as well as Lunar Reflections. So go jam them both. They're great. If you can, like, lay in your bed and put them on Spotify and just keep it going, that's great. I'm not going to tell you no, don't do that, because, I would fall asleep to that. I'd just be like,
Yeah.
So, no, but seriously, go check them out. They're awesome. One of the coolest finds I found out about more recently, more currently. So, definitely a band to check out if you haven't done your homework, done your research. Please go give them some love. And if you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. I'll also let you guys know it's going out in audio format. So Apple Music, Spotify, all that sort of stuff. So, if you don't want to look at us, that's very upsetting. And I'm going to go cry now. But, if you do like seeing us, then awesome. You can watch it. But if not, if you have a long drive home, much like Malia, you can listen to this podcast. So listen to it on the go. And huge thanks to both Kyle and Malia of Glacier Veins for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for
Thank you
listening.
so much. Yeah, this was so fun.